All right, I mentioned at the top of the show that there was this horrible, horrible incident in New Orleans where an individual drove a vehicle through a crowd of people, numerous casualties. The breaking news channels, Associated Press, Reuters, etc., they've all done a good job of giving the facts. And so this is not about retelling the story. If you're interested in the details of what took place, it is widely available. What I want to focus in on is how when you have only a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And despite the fact that the perpetrator in New Orleans is an American-born military veteran, not a foreigner, Donald Trump doubled down saying, I told you that these foreigners represented criminal danger in the United States. Let's start with the statement that Donald Trump put out about the incident, which was then amplified by Donald Trump's incoming press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. Donald Trump saying, quote, when I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media. But it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil. But there's a problem. And even Fox News reported the truth as we now know it with this article. Bourbon Street attack suspect Shamsuddin Jabbar was a U.S. Army veteran, per the FBI. And the article also mentions that the 42-year-old is an American-born American citizen. Of course, I know that many of you are already picking up on what this is really about. Shamsuddin Jabbar is not a name that many of these MAGAs are willing to accept as being simply an American based on the way that the name sounds. Well, maybe technically he's an American, but Shamsuddin Jabbar, come on, guys, give me a break. It was actually quite funny that Fox News covered Trump's statement, and even Fox News clarified, by the way, in this particular case, this is not a foreigner.
President-elect Donald Trump put out a statement on social media earlier today that reads as follows. When I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Our hearts are with all the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil. Now, the former president said criminals coming in his statement, meaning into our country. But to be clear, Molly and Brian, the suspect was born in the United States. He served in the United States Army. He was a veteran. The FBI is the lead agency in this investigation, going through the social media and any other accounts associated with the suspect. But
so just a little footnote, right? President Trump reacting to this horrible incident, pointing out that he was right, that the crimes that are committed by foreigners or would be committed by foreigners are just absolutely terrible and horrible, and it's all very, very, very bad. And by the way, like, okay, in this particular incident, it happened to be an American-born military veteran with no other citizenship, no dual loyalty, none of this stuff. But like Trump's right, and so on and so forth. This tells us a lot about the perspective of what a lot of them mean when they talk about American, right? When we look at it, we say, okay, so where were you born? What is it that, how do we define what it means to be an American? And I think for most of us, it's, well, you were born here or you moved here and were naturalized, or right? It's sort of, for a lot of MAGA, seeing the skin color and name combination of this individual, all right, maybe in some technical way, that's un American, but it's not really un American in the way that we mean it. And that's just a reminder of the way that Trump policy is going to be carried out. Now, we don't yet know all of the details of this attack, and we ultimately will. But what we do know is that Trump saying, I told you so on these foreigners, very much not based in fact. We've seen many high profile data breaches this year, raising serious concerns about personal information security, and most alarming, National Public Data announced a major breach potentially impacting nearly every American. It exposed 2.9 billion records, including names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, social security numbers, and hackers released all of this online for free. But I feel secure thanks to Aura, one of our sponsors. Aura monitors your personal data. This includes your social across billions of data points, including dark web and public records. It will let you know if there's an identity theft risk, and they provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura offers additional safety features like real-time breach alerts, a password manager, and much more. I don't want to leave myself or my family vulnerable to these data breaches. If you don't want to either, go to aura.com/Pacman to try 2 weeks free. That's enough time to see if your personal data is already exposed. The link is in the description.